Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. Today, 28th of February, there's something very special going on in the sky above us, and it's called an alignment of the stars, or more accurately, a planetary parade. Because if the sky is clear, if there's no cloud cover, and if you can get away from light pollution, get out where the sky, where things are very, very dark, and therefore the light in the sky appears to be brighter, then tonight you will be able to see 7 planets lined up in a row, one after another. Now, it's not unusual to get 3 or 4 planets aligning in this way, but to see 7 of them aligning is extremely unusual. In fact, the next time it's going to happen will be in another 15 years' time. But basically, if you look up tonight at the sky, and you can pick them out, you'll see Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Venus, Neptune, Mercury, and Saturn all lining up one after another. Now, strictly speaking, they're calling it the stars aligning, but they're not stars, they're planets. And apparently, when you look up into the sky, the difference, you can see planets in the sky, but the difference between the stars and the planets is the stars will appear to twinkle, whereas the light of the planets in the sky will be steady and constant. Now, this planetary parade, or this alignment of the stars, it reminds me of a phrase. People talk about something very good happening. Well, if the stars all align. And it was this idea that there was a significance in the stars in the sky, that would include the heavenly bodies, the moon, the sun, everything, that basically that they could dictate what happened in our lives here on earth. This is the basis, of course, of astrology, that people look up in the newspaper. Some people look it up every day and look to see what their star sign is and imagine that the same things that it says are going to happen to the millions of other people who happen to be born in that particular time of the year. Now, we recognize that that is stuff and nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Nevertheless, there are those who even have tried to see some significance in the constellations of the stars in the sky to do with the gospel. There is a theory called the theory of the gospel in the stars that tries to argue that the different constellations all have a spiritual meaning and together they can tell the gospel story. Personally, I think that's absolute junk. When you look at it and try to find any evidence of that, it's very, very flaky indeed. Not something I would get into or endorse in any shape or form. But this idea that the stars somehow have this effect over our behavior, the truth is actually much more remarkable than that. Because the truth is that God has chosen us and created us as human beings that we will be able to stand in his presence for all eternity. And that actually means when the stars are gone, when the stars are destroyed, when the suns are burnt out, when the planets are wiped out and disintegrated into dust, we will still be standing in the presence of the Lord and worshipping him. Sometimes we look up at the stars, we think they've been there for so many thousands of years or whatever, and we feel so insignificant. In fact, the opposite is true. According to the worth that God has put in us as human beings made in his image, the stars are insignificant compared to us. That's how important you are in the sight of God. And that's why the most important thing you can ever do with your life is enter into a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, so that you will indeed be assured that you will spend eternity in God's presence, because you are that significant and that important to God. And that's the true wonder of the stars and the planets. And yes, I probably will look up at the sky tonight. And now, to be honest, at the end of February in Ireland, we're going to be doing very well if we don't have it all obscured by clouds. But I'm going to look up and see if I can spot some of those planets lining up in the sky in the planetary parade or the alignment of the stars. But I know that deep down, we are more significant. You and I are more significant in the sight of God than all of those planets and stars. And that's a remarkable thing and something we can really give God glory for. God bless you today. Join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.